On with Hilary. Liz, why do you think there is still so much confusion and concern from parents relating to this?
You'd only have to look at the people that you just showed in that report there. You know, when you have a child, so much is invested in that child, of your love and your energy. And if you hear one little thing which says that there is a potential for any damage, even if you know that that's not true, lots of alarm bells go off. And as the people in the report were saying, there's so much confusion. You know, what you hear on Monday is different from what you hear on Wednesday. Now, I'm completely pro-immunisation. I have 3 children, 14, nearly 12, and 8. They've all had all the jabs they can get. The last one was the cervical cancer jab, which my 14-year-old got last year. So all my children are fully immunised, and I would always encourage parents to have their children vaccinated. But as a mother, I really, and you know, the father's watching as well, I really understand why people are worried. Humans have a very bad capability of weighing up risk, and if you say to a person that there is a very tiny risk of a very terrible thing happening, that outweighs any sort of belief that you have that you think it could be you.
Exactly. You think, well, I could be that 1 in a million. That's the problem.
It's very, very hard to overwrite that. And as you, I mean, Hilary, you know, we're sitting here. I can almost feel both of us going, I can't believe we're still talking about this. I can't believe we're still saying this. 8 years ago, the research linking, and there was no link found, between MMR and autism was totally, as you say, disproved. The guy who wrote it has been struck off, as I understand it now, for medical register. But still, parents go, well, what if? And also, there's conflicting advice. We don't trust the information we're given anymore.
And it changes.
It changes all the time. And I was thinking also about the breast implant story that's been in the news very much in the last few weeks. If one government's saying it's safe, the other's saying it's not, what are we supposed to do? And parents are worried. I do understand why.
We are reporting new findings, and as we said in the reports, the cases of measles seem to be on the increase. But if indeed
measles increased 10 times compared last year to the previous year. Measles is a nasty disease. Some people die from measles, you know, and we're protecting people against diseases like measles. Whooping cough is on the rise as well. But why? You know, and it's about, we've been talking about perceptions. People probably fear meningitis more than any other disease in their children, and so they rush to get their child vaccinated against meningitis, but they don't perceive a threat from something like measles. But measles is still out there, and it's on the rise because we had temporarily a fall in the uptake of MMR. Now it's come right back up to 90%. The report that we're seeing today was a tiny survey, a questionnaire. We have no idea how these people were recruited, and it's not reliable, in my opinion. Other studies have shown that all the confidence is flooded back into vaccination, and if we don't get our children vaccinated, as Liz and I have, we're going to see them suffer from these diseases.
I mean, it sounds like you're both kind of citing scaremongering to a certain degree.
I think it's a really interesting, it's a very important point. I think the press has a huge amount of responsibility here to be very, very careful about what they print, what stories they print. There are surveys, thousands of surveys every single day. They disappear into various scientific journals here and there. It only takes a quiet news day for a news editor to go, oh, I know, let's just slip this in. Bam! Suddenly there's a massive panic, which is actually kind of what happened originally with the MMR report.
People always blame the press. Let's be fair. It isn't just that, though, is it? Because, for instance, there was the swine flu vaccination, a different one that's currently used before we take part in that scaremongering, that, you know, was recommended by everybody and then turned out to have problems with it. So, you know, things do go wrong.
But remember, swine flu was killing a lot of people 2-3 years ago, so we needed to vaccinate the public against what was perceived to be quite a high threat. It wasn't as bad as it turned out, as we weren't thought. Luckily, this year children aren't being vaccinated. Next year, you know, again, things will change. So we need to look at that. But the science is good, and there's a consensus now. There's not the confusion that there once was. And I think that if you're worried, and if you don't trust the Department of Health, the government, for whatever reason, and they do publish very good leaflets with lots of good information, if you don't trust, talk to your doctor, talk to your nurse, and find out as much as you can, then make the decision. But as Liz and I have made that decision to vaccinate all of our children.
And you've done a lot to clear that up today as well, so thank you very much for that. Thanks to both of you. Thank you.